Alright guys, welcome back to this 13 Django tutorial video, and in this video we are going to be learning how to host our website on a Heroku server so that anybody in this world who types in a domain name, for example attreyaweb.com, in their URL browser can access this website. So we have completed our website and it looks pretty good. And just one more thing before I start this video is that if you're watching this video as some kind of a standalone video, and if you haven't watched any of the previous videos, it's totally fine. If you just want to learn how to host your Django project on a Heroku server, what you can do is you can just, if you want to follow along, and even if you don't want to follow along, you don't need to have this code in your repository, because I'm going to cover what we are going to be doing with the code in just a second. But what you can do is you can go to this link, and even people who have watched all of the previous videos can go to this link and they can click on this file called checklist.txt, which I've created specifically for the purpose of hosting our project on a Heroku server. So we are going to be following this by line. So the first thing that is there is copy the project separately. So currently our project is on PyCharm. And what you can do, we can just stop the server right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this personal website from over here. And if you are not using PyCharm, you can just go to your project folder and you can copy your project and then create a new folder somewhere else and copy that project inside that new folder. So I've created inside my E drive, I've created this folder. It's called publish. And inside that, I'm just copying my project. And I just want to do this because I wanted to isolate the PyCharm from the actual project, so that anybody who isn't using PyCharm, or maybe you just kind of stumbled upon this video and you just want to learn how to host a Django website, then you can kind of follow along pretty easily. So let's just wait for this copying to be completed. Alright, now that our folder is copied, we are going to go inside that folder and we are going to delete the files and folders that we don't need. So I'm not going to need this git folder, I'm not going to need this idea folder. And if you can't see this git folder, then you can go to just view options, and then you can click on this view, and then you can click on show hidden files and folders. This will show you all the hidden files that are inside your project. And you can just delete the files that you don't need. So I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this virtual environment that has been created by PyCharm. So I'm just going to delete all of these from my project folder. Now that we have deleted all the unimportant files and folders, let's go back to our checklist and see what's next. It says go to getting started on Heroku with Python. So I'm just going to copy this text from over here and I'm going to go to Google. Actually, I already have it open. I'm just going to paste this. And I'm going to go to the first website, that is Heroku Dev Center. And this is basically an article which tells us how to get started with Heroku on Django, or kind of how to get started with Django on Heroku. I can't believe I messed it up. But anyways, so let's get started. And in the introduction, it says you need a free Heroku account. So the first thing you need to do is go to heroku.com and maybe create a new account over here. So after creating a new account, it will kind of look like this. Just let me show it to you. So if you open up heroku.com, you will see a dashboard. Come on, let's open it up. All right. So you'll see a dashboard which says getting started with Heroku, create a new app. But we are not going to create a new app from this GUI. We are going to use something else. But let's go back and see what's next over here. And then make sure that the Python 3.6 installed, and we are using Python 3.6 on our computer, so that's pretty much okay. And even if it's more than Python 3.6, if you're using Python 3.7, that should be also all right. As long as you're using a version that's more than 3, it should be all right. The next thing is that it says make sure that pipenv is installed locally. So what this is basically it's kind of a package in Python that helps you create virtual environments. We'll get into what virtual environments is in just a second, but before that, let's just install this pipenv. So how do you install this pipenv is just you can go to command prompt or whatever you use on Mac and Linux, the shell, and you can just write pip install and pipenv. Now I'm not going to install it, and you can just press enter and it's going to install this package for you. I'm not going to do it because I already have it installed inside my computer. It shouldn't show you any errors and it's pretty easy. Anyways, that's done. And then it says install Postgres installed locally, which we don't need because we have SQLite 3 and you mostly don't need this step, so it's fine. Then you can click on I'm ready to start and it's going to take you to the next page. The next page says it requires something known as Git. So Git is basically something that you need to push your files to Heroku server, or instead of push, you can say, you can just kind of, if you don't know about GitHub, you can think of it as you are basically copying and pasting the files into the Heroku server using this tool called Git. So to install it, you can just click on Git installation, and then it will take you to the Git website, and then you can just click on downloads, and you can download your version over here. I have Windows, so I can just click on this Windows button and I can download the specific version that I want. After installing it, it's pretty easy. You don't need anything. It's not too complex. You can just install it pretty easily. And just to check whether you have installed it and it's installed correctly or not, you can type in git and then version and press enter, and it will show you the Git version that's installed on your computer. Alright, so we have installed Git. Now it says you have to install something known as a Heroku command line interface by these links that are given below. So I'm going to install the 64-bit version, and it's going to get installed. I already have it installed, so I'm not going to install it, but the installation is pretty straightforward. After installing it, it's going to ask you for your Heroku login. So after installing it, what you can do is you can go back to your command prompt or the shell if you're using Mac or Linux, and you can just type in Heroku login, and if your Heroku is properly installed, it will probably give you a prompt something like this. Let's just wait for a second, and it should ask you for your login credentials. Now it's not gonna show this attreyaweb@gmail.com. I've already logged in, that's why it's kind of showing it over here. But what you can do is you can just type in the details with which you created your Heroku account at this command prompt. So I created the account using this email, so I'm going to type in this, and then it's going to ask you for the password, and I'm just going to type in the password, and let's press enter. And if the username and the password are correct, it will show you as logged in as, and then the email that you have. Now you can kind of be assured that the Heroku is installed properly on your system. So let's get back and see what it says. I've installed the Heroku CLI, that is the command line interface, and now we don't need to follow this process. You just need to follow this process till the setup, and that's pretty much it. So let's go back to our checklist and see where we are currently. So in our checklist, we have completed the 7th step, that is we have logged into our Heroku, basic Heroku account. Then it says to create your virtual environment with using pipenv that we just installed. So what we are going to do is we are going to go to our publish folder, that is the folder where we copied our project to, and right now it's inside this publish folder. So I'm going to go to my E drive. Let's go to my E drive, and inside my E drive I'm going to go to the folder of publish by using the cd command, and inside this over here I can just type in dir to show the directories that I have. Here I have a personal website, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a virtual environment just outside this personal website. That is, I'm going to create a virtual environment inside this publish folder. So what is exactly a virtual environment? So virtual environment is basically something that isolates your program or project. So anything that you install inside your project is not going to affect the rest of the computer, and the rest of the computer, whatever changes you make in the rest of the computer, are not going to affect this project or this folder. So now this publish folder is going to be like a safety comfort zone for our project, and anything that we do inside this folder of publish is not going to affect any other folders inside our system. That is what a virtual environment is in its even the name says, right, virtual environment. We are creating a virtual kind of a safety environment inside this folder. So we are going to be using a pipenv, and inside pipenv there is this command called virtual. Let's type in virtual env and then dot, and this is going to create a virtual environment inside our publish folder. So let's wait for it to complete. Alright guys, so our virtual environment has been created. So if we go back to our publish folder, you can see all these new files which say include lib, scripts, tcl. These are basically the files of the virtual environment. So don't worry about them too much, just it's good to know that they exist. All right, so we have just created our virtual environment. Let's see what's next on our checklist. After creating our virtual environment, let's run our manage.py file, and it's not gonna run. So that's okay. So actually let's go inside our personal website, and inside that personal website, let's check out what are the files that are there. So inside personal website, we have this manage.py file. So inside our PyCharm, whenever we wanted to run this website, what we used to do was we just used to execute this manage.py file, and then we used to write run server over here, which used to run the server. So we are gonna try and do the exact same thing over here, but you will see in a minute that we will fail. But before we execute this manage.py file, I forgot to activate our virtual environment. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back our directory, and over here I'm gonna first activate the virtual environment. How to activate the virtual environment? You just type in dot and then slash and then write scripts, and then again you write activate and press enter. So now you can see inside these brackets, you can see this folder which says publish, and this means that our virtual environment is activated. Now if you're using Mac or Linux, if you type in this scripts, it's not gonna work. For that you actually have to type in bin, and then you have to type in activate. And if this doesn't work, you can just go to Google and type in how to activate a virtual environment inside Mac or Linux using pipenv. So I'm pretty sure though it was bin this activate, but if it doesn't work, this should work, but if it doesn't work, feel free to go to Google. It's just one line, you'll find it. But anyways, now that we have activated our virtual environment, I'm gonna try and execute this manage.py file. So let me go to back to our this personal website folder, and over here let's type in python manage.py and then run server and press enter. As you can see, it says couldn't import Django because we don't have Django installed inside our virtual environment. Now, even though we might have Django installed inside our computer, but we still don't have Django installed inside our virtual environment. And the definition of virtual environment is that this area or this project is isolated from the rest of the computer. So what we can do is just to kind of tell you that there are no packages installed right now, we can just type in pip and then freeze and press enter, and what's going to show you, it's going to show you nothing, because what pip freeze does, it shows you that the packages that are installed inside this virtual environment. So right now there are nothing, there are basically no packages installed. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to install Django. Now before we even install Django, let's find out the version of the Django that's inside. So what we can do is we can go to our terminal, and over here we can just type in, as you can see, we are inside our personal website folder. And if you're using something else, just go to your command prompt, not command prompt, what the heck, my accent is acting up. But you can go to this command prompt and go to your project and then type in pip, not pip install, just pip freeze. And over here you will be able to see that there are a lot of libraries and stuff inside your project. So over here you must not be seeing all of these things, not all this django-heroku and stuff. These are just the extra things that are installed before. But over here you can see the main things that are there, that is Django equals to 2.1 and the requests that we are using. So these two things need to be installed. So what we can do is we can just copy this from over here. Let's copy it and go back to our command prompt and write pip install and right click, and this is going to install Django 2.1. So let's wait for it to be installed. Alright guys, so Django is now successfully installed inside our virtual environment. Now if we type in pip freeze and press enter, it's let's wait for it to come over, and it's taking a lot of time for some reason. As you can see, that's Django 2.1, it's automatically installed. Now the second thing we need is this request library. Now if you have a different Django project, you just need to install all the libraries that you are using inside our project. And for this project that we have created, if you go inside our let's go inside our templates folder in the my site app, and inside our this views.py file, not the templates folder, inside this views.py file, as you can see, we are using the request library. And that is why we need to install that request library as a standalone package inside our virtual environment. So let's copy this from over here, go to our command prompt and type in pip install, and let's install the exact version of the request library that we are using. Alright, so we have installed the request library, and now if we run the manage.py file, it should work. So let's go to python manage.py run server press enter. And let's hope that our server is gonna run. If it's not gonna run, I'm just gonna jump outside the window and I'm gonna die, and this video is gonna end over here. Let's go over here and type in our IP address and let's hope it works. Alright, so our website has opened up and it's working properly from our virtual environment. And if you're watching this video still, that means I haven't jumped off the window. So congratulations, I am alive. So let's go back to our command prompt and we can just stop the server now. And on command prompt, you stop the server by pressing Ctrl and then C on your keyboard and the server will stop. Alright, so server has stopped and now we can go back to our checklist and see what's next. So we have run the manage.py file and then we have stopped it. So now we know that our manage.py file and the server are properly working inside our virtual environment. Now what we have to do is we have to go to Django-heroku. So what you can do is you can go to Google again, and inside Google you can just type in Django-heroku and we can click on the second link that says configuring Django apps for Heroku. If you're not able to find this link, you can just copy and paste this, that is configuring Django apps for Heroku, inside this URL, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. So let's open it up. And I just wanted to tell you that what we are doing inside this video is for Django 2.1, but if you're using Django 2.0 or any of the future versions of Django, for example, Django 2.5 or something, or even Django 2.9 or something, it's still gonna work. The process for publishing your app on Heroku is pretty much the same. So over here on configuring Django apps for Heroku, the first step it says is it requires a Procfile, and inside that Procfile it requires this line. So we are gonna go to our project and inside our project folder where this manage.py file is, we are gonna create a new file, and we can just create a new file and make sure that the extension of .text, and if you're not able to see the extension, you can go to views, you can go to options, and then over here you can untick hide extensions for known file types. After unticking it, you will be able to see this .text extension. Now you can remove this .text extension and name this file as, I think it was Procfile, and I'll just go back to the Django help that we had. Let's close this tab over here, and yeah, it's called Procfile, and then we need this line inside our Procfile. So I'm just gonna copy this and I'm gonna edit it with Notepad, and inside it let me just close the settings.py file and I'm gonna paste this over here. Now it says my project.wsgi, so rename this my project with whatever the name of the project that you have. So inside our PyCharm, as you can see, our project name is personal website, and make sure that this name is correct, otherwise you are gonna get an error and it's not gonna be properly installed on Heroku. So our name is personal website, so I'm gonna go over in our Procfile and I'm gonna change it to personal website, and then I'm gonna save it and close it up. And then we can go back to our Django apps, and over here you can see it says install guincorn. So we are going to install this guincorn package, and what this guincorn is, it's basically required by Heroku to run your website on its server, and it's kind of just kind of think of it as a thing that is required by Heroku to run your website on its server. It's nothing too complicated. So we are going to just copy and just install this guincorn inside our virtual environment. So we can just write pip install and guincorn and press enter. I think I misspelled it, so I'm gonna type it again. I'm gonna write pip install guincorn. I can't believe I misspelled guincorn. Unicorn is a pretty common and sweet name, but let it install guincorn. Alright, so guincorn is installed, and the next thing it says to install is Django-heroku, which you must have seen inside PyCharm terminal. So Django-heroku, you can see it's 0.3.1, and what exactly this Django-heroku is, it makes the work of publishing your website on Heroku really easy. So 1 year before I was building this website, right, anupinion.com, and the work that went into hosting this website was a lot 1 year before. And now what Heroku does is that it has created this thing called Django-heroku. It's kind of a package for Python, And after you install it, your work gets so much easier. You don't need to worry about the static files. You can easily upload, just deploy your website to the Heroku panel. So what we are going to do is we are going to pip install this django-heroku. So we can just go over here and then write pip install django. The Django spelling is wrong. Django-heroku. Press enter. So as you can see, it has also installed all these packages that are required by Django, and along with django-heroku, which is going to make our work so much easier. And now if we can scroll down, it says add the import statement to the top of settings.py file and add this to the settings.py file at the bottom. So we are going to go to our settings.py file that is inside this personal website folder. Go to our settings.py. Click on edit with notepad. You can edit it with anything else that you want, and we can just copy this import django-heroku, and I'm gonna paste this at the top like it said. And let me just paste it again because I think I messed it up a little bit. Okay, so it's saying import django-heroku. I don't know why it's not copying properly, but it's fine. We can just write it manually. And then at the bottom it says copy and paste this, that is the activation of django-heroku. So I'm going to go at the bottom of my settings.py file, and just below this static, I'm going to paste this. That will activate the django-heroku. So now our work with the settings.py file is done. So let's go back to our checklist and see what's next. So we have created a Procfile, that is done. We have installed django-heroku. We have added stuff to our settings.py file. We have installed guincorn. And I've also messed up the spelling of guincorn over here. I don't know why, but I'll have to improve this checklist again. And then we are going to make something known as a requirements.txt file. So whenever you upload your stuff to Heroku, it's going to go to this requirements.txt file, and it's going to see what kind of stuff it needs to install on its server. So if we type in freeze now and press enter, you'll see these are the things that will be needed on the Heroku server. And how does the Heroku recognize or identify which kind of things are needed for our Django website to be installed on its server is by this file called requirements.txt. So what we are going to do, we are just going to write pip freeze and then this greater than less sign, and then we can just type in requirements, and make sure you don't mess up the spelling of requirements.txt, otherwise it's not going to work, and press enter, and it's going to create a new file. Let's open up, and it's going to create a new file inside your personal website folder called requirements.txt, which contains all the requirements that are needed by Heroku. Alright, so this is done. Let's go back to our checklist and see what's next. Now you can just create the app and add it to Heroku. And finally, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be creating a new app, but we won't click over here. We are going to be creating a new app using our command line. So we are just going to type Heroku create, and then I'm going to type in the app name. So my app is going to be called attreyaweb. And if you use a very common name, for example, like, I don't know, like web or something like that, it's not going to work because somebody would have already taken it. You can think of this name as also as like a subdomain. So you have to make sure that this name isn't taken by anyone, but you can just try it out even if you want. So if I write something like web and press enter, it's gonna say creating web, and it will say name web is already taken. That's why you have to find a name that isn't already taken. I'm gonna go with attreyaweb. Attreyaweb. You can just put in your own name if you want and press enter, and it's gonna create this attreyaweb app for us. So now we can just press enter on our dashboard, and you will see that a new app has been created. Alright, so this is a new app, and as we go back to our command prompt, you will see that this website with herokuapp.com is existing. So if we go to attreyaweb.herokuapp.com, you'll be able to see that we have an app, and Heroku is welcoming us to our new app. So congratulations, we have finally created a cool app. So let's go back and see what's the next. And now we can just use Git. So at the starting, you must have remembered that we asked you to, or I asked you to, not we, I asked you to install this application called Git, and you must have checked it by typing Git version, and this means that Git is already installed on your computer. Anyways, so what we're going to do is we are going to go back to our command prompt, and now we are going to initialize the git. So we can just write git init. And if we go back to our folder, as you can see, this .git file has appeared. That means our git is initialized now. And then we can just write git status, and you'll see all the files that have not been added to git. So you must be confused if you haven't used GitHub. What is this git? You can think of this git as basically files that are going to be pasted on the Heroku server. Obviously that's not the correct definition, but you can just think of it as like something that needs to be. Git is a tool that can be used to copy and paste stuff to the Heroku server. So these are the files that are still needed to be copied to Heroku server, and these are just the new files. So now we know what files need to be added. So we can just write git add and then double dash and all. So we need to add all the files. So and press enter. All right, so all the files have been added. Now we need to make sure that we actually want to add these files to the server. So we need to commit these files. We can just write git commit -m, and then inside we can just write something like first commit and press enter. And it's gonna commit all of these files that were inside this personal website folder to git. And then we need to finally push all these files to our Heroku app. So we can just write git push Heroku master and press enter. And it says Heroku does not appear to be a git repository, could not read from the remote repository. And we are getting this error because the remote to Heroku hasn't been set yet. So let's do that. You can do that by just typing in Heroku git and then putting in this colon and then typing in remote -a, and then over here you can just type in the name of the app that you have. So I'm just going to write attreyaweb, replace this attreyaweb with whatever the name of your app is and press enter. And after this it should probably be added. So now we can just type in git push Heroku master, and this should work. So let's put it in. All right, so the deployment is complete. Now if we go to our Heroku page, that is attreyaweb.herokuapp.com, and press enter, you'll be able to see that our website is now live. So congratulations guys, you have finally uploaded our website on the Heroku server and it looks pretty good. Now one more thing that we need to do is we need to go to our admin panel, and you'll see that our admin panel is not working. So if we go back to our admin panel, not go back, just go to our admin panel, and if we type in the password that we had created previously, or if you have done any kind of other project, you'll see that you'll get this kind of an error, and your database probably won't work. So what you need to do if you are getting any kind of error while opening your Heroku app is that you need to type in Heroku run bash, and this will give us access to the files that we have uploaded on the Heroku server. So it's gonna run this bash command, and let's wait for it to run. And over here, if you type in ls, now this is a Linux based system, so you have to use Linux based commands. And the way to see directories inside a Linux is by typing ls and press enter. All right, so it shows us all of these files, and then we can just like we did in our project in Django, we have to run our migrations. That's why it's giving us that error inside our website, because we haven't run our migrations. So we can just type in Python, and inside this bash, it's gonna run a little bit slowly. So even if you type very fast, it's gonna type in very, very slow. And over here, we can just type in migrate and press enter, and it's gonna run all the migrations for us. So these are the admin migrations, and these are the my site migrations, that is the app migrations. Sorry, so we have to type in Python manage.py and create super user and press enter. What is happening? I can't believe I'm messing up the spellings and stuff. I'm a little bit tired, so don't blame me. Press enter. And now over here we can just type in admin, and you can give the password that you want. Even if you want an email, you can give it to it. And we're just gonna type in the password, and I'm gonna type in the password again. All right, so our super user has been created. Now I can log in into my administration panel. Let's click on login. And as you can see, we have our database with contacts and students over here. Now let's actually see whether our contacts form is working or not. So we are gonna go to our contact page, and we are gonna type in the email. Let's type in the email, the subject hello, and the message we can just gonna hello, and inside our message we can just write this works question mark, press submit, and let's go to our database, refresh it, and you'll be able to see that a new item has been added. And if you click on it, so these are the items inside our database. But anyways, if you want to update any kind of a thing, so for example, if we, let's say this is my project folder, if I go inside our my site and I go inside, let's say templates, inside this my site, and I need to update this thank you page, so I just go to my thank you and I just add maybe like a full stop over here. Now I need to update this website inside my Heroku server. So what can I do is I can go to my command prompt. Let's exit this bash by typing in exit. So now what we can do is we can just type in git status again, and you'll see that there's this thank.html which we just edited inside our git status. So now we can do basically do the same things. We can just type in git add all, and we have messed it up, add double dashes, git add all. Then we again need to type git commit -m, and over here we can just write thank you page edited. This is just the text that you enter. You can enter anything you want. And then we can just do the same thing, that is git push. And we don't have to do that remote thing again and again, because if you type in git, I think this was the command git, you can see that there are two Heroku over here, Heroku apps, that is attreyaweb. That is why we don't have to add them to the remote. So now we can just directly type in git push Heroku master and press enter, and this file is gonna be pushed to our Heroku server. So right now inside our thank page, so where is the thank you page? Let's just write thank you, go to contact, press on submit, and as you can see there is no full stop at the end over here, which we added inside our files. So now it's gonna just add this thank you page to the server. Alright, now we can refresh our thank you page by just pressing on reload maybe. Let's reload. And as you can see, this dot has been added, and this means that our thank you page has been updated. Alright guys, congratulations for finally hosting up your website on the Heroku server. And now in the next video, what we are going to be learning is how to use a custom domain name with Heroku, so that we can just type in something like Heroku, not Heroku, just attreyaweb.com, use a custom domain, and yeah, access the website from there instead of typing in the whole web app name and then herokuapp.com, which is fine, but it looks a little bit bad if you have a professional website. So we are going to be covering that in the next video. For this video, peace out. I know this was a pretty long video, I'm sorry about that, but yeah, I'll see you in the next one.